Welcome, Dr. Chan and everybody in entrepreneurship. This is team number 4. I'm Bob Harrison. We have Jacqueline Farrow, Pinkas Niznov, and Chinmay Katari. We're going to be talking about the Alpha Locking Systems business plan. The front screen, you see some of the different lock types we have, both uninstalled and installed in fixtures. So for our executive summary, just showing you a completed store. This is the Levion in Garden City that we worked on. So versus looking at locks separated, now you see all this 1.1" of a face on the lock on the front of the showcase, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Very aesthetically pleasing and minimized. So let's talk a little bit about our marketplace. Showcase cabinet and casework locking systems. We basically have a 3-legged stool twice. The first is end users that actually have the housings and the cores installed and use them. The second leg is the fixture builders for the customers. And what they do is they'll build casework, cabinets, showcases, whatever it might be, going into retail stores, institution, hospital, whatever it might be. So Alpha would be the security provider providing the core and the lock housing. Usually the housing goes to the fixture builder and the core goes to the end user to maintain security. The other 3-legged stool is, as far as the company goes, we have the entrepreneur and inventor, and we're looking for the investor. And one of the main focal points of the company and what's going to win over customers that are existing out there is unmatchable customer service. That's going to be one of our focal points. And in regard to investor incentives, we're looking for investors that can supply $200,000, and we're looking at this is a loan that they'd earn over 10%, as much as 15% back on their money, or we will consider 20 to 30% ownership interest. Let's talk about our business mission and vision. You see some more locks on the lower part of the screen, deadbolts, cam locks. It's a wide variety that's needed to lock all the different applications. We defined our mission and vision, demonstrating the Golden Rule operating philosophy to customers, vendors, and employees while pursuing the aims of aim for perfection, 0 defects, flawless execution, and unmatchable customer service, while securing customer merchandise and assets.
So going forward for business opportunity, we're going to go over the industry analysis, market analysis, competition analysis and geographic concentration, marketplace concentration, industry trends, and finally target market selection. So for industry analysis, our proposed Alpha interchangeable core, aka IC, were invented by Best Access, which is now Stanley Best, in 1925. But the showcase and cabinet lock housings we are competing against started manufacturing and marketing to the initial customer, Sterling Jewelers, and expanded steadily into the retail industry starting in the approximate 1980 timeframe. The Figure 8 core system standard, also known as SFIC, Small Format Interchangeable Core, for all door hardware and showcase locks has been around since the 1930s and 1940s. So we are in a mature industry, but very stable in product usage and growth. The entrepreneur has been competing against Best since 1991 until today, and the sliding door, drawer, and door lock sizes and designs have had the same dimensions and functions during that time frame. The main changes in the product has been the selection of manufacturing materials to reduce cost. As for market analysis, for reference on direct market size and sales information, first-hand information was received during visits to Best Access, which is located in Indianapolis, in 1997. Best was then producing 14,000 cores per day. Per an updated 2014 conversation, they were up to 24,000 cores per day, with peak production about 35,000 cores per day. So the overall usage and applications of this type product based on the industry leader has grown significantly. The Best showcase housing sales in the late 1990s was about 200,000 showcase housings of all types. Current sales numbers from Best plus estimated sales numbers from the competitor list are estimated to be a total of 300,000 plus the matching IC cores. The market is estimated to be over $100 million for the showcase and cabinet segment alone. Now going towards competition analysis and geographic concentration, BEST has established the market centered around the IC core, and when patents expired in the 1960s, multiple companies started producing competing IC cores, door hardware and housings equivalent to BEST in dimensions, form, fit, and function. This created an immediate availability of a direct substitute to displace and replace BEST housings and cores. Marketplace concentration. With our target IC showcase and cabinet lock niche market, the market is fragmented except for three primary competitors who concentrate on this industry. Kenstan, lock housings made by Olympus, which they have worked there for 18 years. Delta, made by two Taiwan manufacturers, worked there for 8 years. And BOA Security Technologies, currently tooling IC, worked with Alan Lurie, owner, for 14 years at Kenstan. Industry trends. Current industry trends are for mechanical cores to remain the overwhelming product of choice because they work well for security. They last for at least 7 to 10 years, some even 25 to 30, and represent an economical choice in the $15 to $25 range. End users continue to evaluate electronic lock cores to replace mechanical cores, but the replacement electronic core costs 8 to 12 times the cost of mechanical cores. And last but not least, target market selection. The entrepreneur's previous experience at Kenstan and Delta Lock had focused on being a one-stop shop, offering 5 multiple lock security levels, with price point ASP, which is average sales prices, matching the lock security capability. This is an attractive goal long-term and worked very well in attracting past customers. However, the tooling time for multiple product lines took well over a year to complete, with tooling alone costing over $225,000. The focus to start this time is to concentrate on the IC core product line with the higher ASP, and larger customers we can offer a substantial price savings combined with better quality, service, and delivery efficiency. Only 5 lock types plus the cores will be offered to the end user market, with the goal of winning 2 of the Delta major customers to generate enough sales to make Alpha profitable in the first year. Limited focus and a fast sales start will enable Alpha to connect with the critical target customers during the first week of May 2017.
Okay, so the execution plan. For product development, an established supplier with quality lock manufacturing capability and competitive costing has been identified in Taiwan that has not been used by Alpha's competitors. They currently have 2 lock models that are essential for our initial inventory position. Initial communications have been 80% understood without detailed explanations, which is good, and their responses have been thoughtful and measured. For research and development milestones, currently we will be using existing proven brass machining and die casting technologies for tooling and manufacturing of the mechanical lock. Upon establishment of a profitable mechanical lock company, we can focus R&D work on incorporating electronic functions into the cores, which goes into future products. Currently, electronic locking IC cores are sold in the $135 to $175 range, and electronic keys from $75 to $150 range. Electronic offerings should and can be made less expensive with excellent end-user functionality. This will be our future research goal, to make an electronic IC core that can substitute for a mechanical core that will sell for less. And for intellectual property, we'll get all the proper patents and whatnot. Now, as an operation plan, the Alpha business model will combine value-added quality, ready-to-ship inventory, competitive pricing, and unmatchable customer service to satisfy our end-user needs. When it comes to supplier relationships and the distribution channels, Alpha will use industry vendors from both Taiwan and the United States to support our customers for the following. For inbound logistics, Alpha will be importing from Taiwan and using USA domestic suppliers through both ocean and air freight methods and FedEx Ground. When it comes to operations, there will be a Long Island-based warehouse, office, and assembly shop space. For outbound logistics, the delivery of Alpha Lock products will be accomplished using FedEx Ground and air small parcel services. The procurement will have the supplier base, will include 2 primary vendors. Staff will be multitasking to place and manage orders. And for product flow, order and maintain housing inventory as final products to ship off the shelves within 24 hours, while empty cores and core filling components will be inventory to assemble with cut keys. When it comes to customer service and human resources, Alpha will be starting with only 2 employees, but continue to grow with the entrepreneur and a multitasking office/shop person for customer support, inventory control, and billing and shipping operations.
For the marketing plan, our overall strategy is essentially have 5 target customers, and our goal is to win 2 of those, and we'll be using direct sales contact. You know, in our books we talk about social media and exercising that. The fastest start for us is to go with the direct contacts, customers, buyers that we know, get them sampled, tested as soon as possible, and win them over to us. In regard to the product, we are limiting the amount of actual parts that we're going to support and inventory at first because they're profiled to the target customers we're looking for. Price-wise, I'll give you one particular example. We're looking to be at least 20 to 25% below our competition, and we're starting with a machine brass housing versus the competitor's die-cast housing, so actually offering better quality at a lesser cost. But we will have the die-cast option, and we will be exploring that because the margins on die-cast are approximately 55% versus 40% for the machine brass. But with the machine brass, we can get started much more quickly. So that leads us to our promotion. We want to have as fast a start as possible, and if we have some margin that we have to give up at the beginning to use the brass machining, get it in-house, inventoried, delivered, so that we can start servicing people right away, that's going to be a big advantage. And as far as placement, everything is going to be factory direct. We're not going to be using distributors. Most of the customers that I've dealt with over time have been interested in contacting the factory direct because they get a response that is much faster, more direct, less fifth wheel chatter that goes on to get everything, the information that they need. In regard to Alpha itself, we're looking at becoming an LLC, Delaware company. New York is just too expensive. They charge you $1,100 a year to maintain your New York corporate license. So we will start in New York, but we can incorporate out of state. And then to be a low-cost, low-overhead company, we will look for Mid-South location. Tennessee happens to be one particular area that we're looking at so far. Now, in regard to the plan and risk factors, we want to have $200,000, for investment, and we're taking a look at the major assumptions that we have to. We're going to win 2 out of 5 major customers. We're going to have certain risk factors that you always have when you deal with overseas customers, and suppliers, and we're taking a look at just what we can do to mitigate those as much as possible. The main factor is to inventory as much here as possible to prevent any shipping delays that occur, like we had with the West Coast shipping strike that took place some time ago that delayed quite a few shipments. In regard to our projected sales, we're looking at $250,000 the first year, $500,000 the second year, and $750,000 the third year. We're using a 40% margin to start, but we hope that we can get that over 50% as we can persuade customers to move to the die-cast version and maintain the stellar quality that we started with. So we're thrilled with the potential opportunity, and we would welcome any questions, comments when we get to the discussion phase, and we thank you so much.